Hi, my name is Justin Putney. I'm partner at Jar Productions. I've worked as both a designer and a developer, and I've written dozens of extensions for creative products over the last few years, and I'm also an Adobe community professional.
Hi, I'm AJ Peterson, the other partner at Jar Productions.
There's a big gap in designers trying to get their layouts to digital formats. Print is slowly going away and the projects are becoming more digital. This is still a young area for software, and the solution that Adobe's come up with, the digital publishing suite, seems to be working pretty well for very large companies that have a lot of subscribers. So newspapers and magazines that have distributions in the millions. They can afford the annual fees that run from a few thousand to hundreds of thousands, and then the download fees that they get from every subscriber.
For most everybody else, like freelancers and creatives at smaller companies, it's just too expensive.
As another example, another really neat format is the interactive PDF. So you have this ability to make a PDF that has animation and interactivity. That's worked great on a desktop computer, but as tablets and phones have come out, they don't really have a model for allowing plugins in their browsers. You actually have to download the PDF and then you open it in the reader. The other limitation on the devices is that the reader is sort of a stripped down version of what you'd get on the desktop computer. So it doesn't have the interactive features. We're looking at a solution that takes your InDesign layout, because we know InDesign is such an indispensable tool, and puts it to HTML5, which is a completely open format.
And allow people to spend less money to publish their layouts to multiple devices. Anybody who wants to take their InDesign layout that's ready-made and take it to any mobile device, or they could use our tool to get it there.
I think this would work well for a lot of portfolios where you want to sort of display piece by piece. It'll include links and videos, so if you want to have multimedia in your portfolio, we'll have the ability to embed YouTube videos in it. You'll be able to link within your website or app without loading up the browser in another window or loading up another tab. Of course, you'll have that option, but you'll be able to load it right in your app, so you don't have to explain to the user that they have to go back into your app to see your content again. Another thing that comes up a lot is people want to have marketing pieces on iPads. They want to have storybooks. There's Apple's proprietary tool, and it makes a book format for the iPad. But what if you want that on the Android too? So that's the real advantage of having something that makes an open format. And because InDesign is a completely mature tool already, you've got all the layout features that you would expect a tool to have. So anybody who has any reason to want to add interactivity to a PDF, they can put it out to this format and it'll be viewable on any device.
There's really no limitation, and then going into the future, there's not going to be a limitation on devices that we don't even know about yet. So devices that don't even exist yet are also potential targets.
Rather than having a designer have to figure out what kind of interactivity they need on those devices, that's something we can just program into the InDesign to HTML5 exporter, so that it can recognize if you're on a tablet and enable swipe navigation, or if you're on a desktop computer, it'll have arrows and keyboard navigation.
And think about not having to hire a developer and spend the extra money.
If you do happen to have a developer on staff or one available and you need to customize it, the format's completely open. So you may look at this as an opportunity to not need a developer, or if you need a developer could be 25% of the work time instead of being 75% of the work time. So you can have the designer carry the project all the way until the end product basically, and then say, okay, I want this extra feature, and all the developer has to do is create the extra feature. They don't have to take the static mock-up from the designer and recreate the entire layout. From talking to designers and clients who are needing digital designs, that there's a need for these capabilities right away. So if you contribute $100 or more to this project, when it closes, if we've successfully reached our funding, you'll have access to the prototype that we're showing here on an iPad and also on a desktop computer. You'll have access to that prototype or whatever version. Actually, it'll probably be further along by the time the project closes, to use, and you can actually use it on live commercial projects right away.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for contributing.